Now, if you're Ernst Young, you should be concerned. Now, based on their industry of what they provide, what type of service, now will there be a negative effect on their company as a whole, as how they dealt with the Wirecard fiasco or situation here? Well, you know, surprisingly, Ernst Young has increased its number of multinational audit clients. So it may sound weird. How come, you did a terrible, poor job of auditing a company who technically defrauded their finances, and you let it, you know, slip by, and there's no major repercussions? Well, let's take a look here. According to the article, sorry, according to the article, as mentioned, since 2017, so before the scandal occurred, it has already doubled its market share. Now, competing with the likes of, there are only four major players if you're talking of the auditing giant, which is you have Ernst and Young's, that's one. You have KPMG, and as well as PricewaterhouseCooper as another company that is the major players in the auditing firm, as well as Deloitte. Forget that one. So they now have clients such as heavyweights Deutsche Bank, Volkswagen, Siemens, Munich Re, as well as Deutsche Telekom. They also have big airline giants Lufthansa, as well as aircraft maker Airbus company. So Ernst Young in recent years has successfully established itself as the third power among the blue chip German blue chip company, which is KPMG and PricewaterhouseCooper. Now, changing auditor is a daunting, complex task. So, which makes sense. Now, obviously, if you're a multinational company that have, different businesses worldwide, whether you're in Europe, in America, or in Asia, you will have to deal with different regulations, requirements, and so forth. So you need a well-experienced company, or in this case, auditing firm, that can deal with that, not just the financial aspect, but as well as the legal aspect. And obviously, it'll take a lot more before one company would, think twice and simply say, oops, because of the scandal, I want to change to a different vendor in this case. Do I just shift to KPMG or even Deloitte and so forth? Now, changing auditor is a complex and costly process. I think this is one of the main issues that, companies cannot simply just shift to a different auditing firm. And it takes several years, particularly in Germany. However, audit and government experts expect that the fallout from it will limit the ability of Ernst& Young to acquire more clients. Now, obviously, here is the negative effect here. Now, obviously, they've acquired a significant uh, contracts from different companies, but you know, with the fallout that happened here, it would be more difficult for them to entice different companies to use their services versus the others who are not in hot water, so to speak. And will it damage their reputation? Yeah, maybe up to a certain point. We have to wait and see what happens with their current companies. When their contract is up, when their agreement is up, would they stay here, or would they choose another company here? An example here is German lender Commerzbank have said they will drop Ernst& Young's. Now, their main company, the main clients, Deutsche Bank, which ironically recently switched to Ernst& Young's after more than 60 years of using KPMG, which is kind of ironic, right? But they will not, change their mind because of the scandal that happened here. Same goes for the Volkswagen chief financial officer, Frank Ritter, told the shareholders that, you know, despite changing from PricewaterhouseCooper for 70 years, then suddenly changing to Ernst& Young's, whether that's a great decision or not, you know, we have to wait and see how it pans out for Volkswagen here. Same goes here for MTU Aero Engines, which used Ernst& Young since 2014. So they said they have no plans of changing the company. Same goes for MTU because, as again, in particular, if your business is very technical, in this case, it's quite difficult and it'll take considerable expertise for auditors to do their job properly. assuming they do their job properly here, right? And as well as Lufthansa also mentioned that they have no plans of changing their auditors. And you can see the list goes on and on. But obviously, at the end of the day, if you only have four major players here, it's easy for them. If they give it a chance, they could just simply shift to a different one, whether it's Deloitte, KPMG, or even Pricewater here.